Hi, guys. Oh, my God, it's Ugly Bob! What the hell are you doing here?
Hello Castlevania fans. I decided to move ahead on my video release schedule, skip past Bloodlines and all those, because I wasn't able to play through them all before Order of Ecclesia came out. Turns out that's how you pronounce it. I actually wasn't sure until I actually started the game. This game is meant to be a standalone title in the Castlevania series. It takes place in the 19th century, and it seems that there are no more Belmonts around, so various organizations have come in to take up the mantle because Dracula is still very much around and his evil powers are influencing the Castlevanian countryside, or Transylvania, or Romania, somewhere in Europe, whatever you want to call it. Everything looks different, and so you have to wonder where this really takes place. In the minds of the creators, that's where, and you shouldn't mind. The primary outlay of the way that this game works is different. It almost follows a mission-type structure. You have smaller areas. It's not just all one giant castle to explore at first. Things will change later on in the game, from what I understand, so I'm looking forward to that. When it comes to enemies and graphics, a lot of them are recycled from previous Castlevania games. Now, I spent a little while thinking about this. I wasn't sure if it was a good or bad thing, because it's been going on in Castlevania for quite a while. Like, some games they'll add 1 or 2 new enemies, and so far that's the case here. Now, this is not really a problem, because it feels like an homage to the 2 greatest games in the Castlevania series, Dracula X, Rondo of Blood, and Symphony of the Night, which is where most of these enemies were taken from, the Spear Knights and many other versions of the enemies. Now, as Capcom fans would know better, it's not enough just to take the sprites with like a proverbial pair of scissors and stitch them right into a new game. They really should add something new to them, new walking animation, new attacks, anything. Like, just think of the PSP remake of Rondo of Blood. Not only was it changed to a 2.5 perspective, you have new ways that the enemies look, and it was in the enemies' cases it was almost always a better thing. Not so much always a better thing in the case of the heroes. Besides that little quibble, the graphics really are quite excellent, as Castlevania has always been good at using 2D sprites to their maximum. The easiest evidence, and a good piece of supporting proof that 2D is superior to 3D in many ways, is big giant weapons. They just can't look as good on 3D because of the way that the perspective works. You get many of these throughout the game: attacks, screen filling, giant hammers, giant swords. It's the way it should be. There really is no other way to do it. The music so far feels very much like Castlevania, being composed by Michiru Yamane. I hope I pronounced her name right. Most people remember her from Symphony of the Night, but she actually first worked on Castlevania Bloodlines. Symphony of the Night is really what brought her some fame. And then she worked on Portrait of Ruin with the legendary Yuzo Koshiro of ActRaiser and Streets of Rage fame. Now this would be her 4th game. I don't think she worked on Dawn of Sorrow or any of the GBA predecessors, though. The music has a very much Castlevania feel, even though I haven't recognized any particular remixes throughout the game. I'm sure there'll be some to find as we move on, probably when we get to the castle setting. One of the most important things that should be noted, especially the people who might be only familiar with the Castleroid or Metroidvania type games, this really feels like a giant harkening back to earlier Castlevanias. Enemies, even basic enemies, are quite challenging in this game. You really have to know how to outmaneuver them and use your reflexes, the specific weapon strengths, stuff like that. You can't just bowl over them because of the way the new systems work. The bosses are challenging in the same ways. I should explain this, because there is no MP per se in this game. The MP is used to power your weapons attacks, which allow you to still do more powerful than generic attacks because you can string combos together. Now, this just involves tapping buttons in particular sequential orders. If you played a lot of 2D fighting games, it's really second nature after 1 or 2 tries, but in the heat of battle it can be difficult. I really like how It has the older fans in mind when it comes to the design challenge and even the mission-based type settings. You know, it's not all just one giant castle that you're thrown into the middle of and have to use new items that you find to move your way around areas that you couldn't reach before. It's nice to see a change up in that. One of the bigger changes up is the heart system, in that it's used to power up the weapon crashes of your equipped weapons this time. There are no sub-weapons. I like how that they always have this in mind. It's like designed to attract the newer players and older Castlevania fans who will appreciate how they're not just recycling the same system over and over again. It reminds me of something Koji or Igarashi once said about the soul system in Dawn of Sorrow and Area of Sorrow. He likes it a lot, but he felt that it took up the whole game, so he knew that he had to change something for Portrait of Ruin. It's good that when you have a good thing, you know that you shouldn't rely on it too much and you have to innovate. Madden. So that concludes my review of Castlevania-Order of Ecclesia. So I thought I'd just close with a shot of the box and the little flash cartridge, DS card, whatever. And I'll see you next time when I can get back to my regular reviews. See you next time. Bye-bye.